Okay, so first off, basics of recombination of the VDJ segments. You need to know that it's a mechanism for adaptive immunity. So you have innate immunity and adaptive immunity, and this is going to be purely for adaptive. And what it does is it improves the specificity during lymphocyte development. For step one, you must know that it occurs in the bone marrow. And we're going to talk about some other locations that some of the other diversity increasing maneuvers can occur, such as in the germinal centers of the lymph nodes, but VDJ is in the bone marrow. And so this is totally random, and it does not require antigens. So you'll hear about antigen-dependent or antigen-independent types of variability, and this does not require an antigen. And so what it does is it's going to increase the diversity of the B and the T cell receptors. And we're going to get into this in just a second. I'll show you a little picture. And how it does it is via RAG. RAG stands for recombination activating genes. You need to know that there's two RAG genes. There's RAG1 and RAG2. And these together will combine and form VDJ recombinase. And so that is an enzyme that you need for VDJ recombination in both B and T cells. So now you know that VDJ recombination is adaptive. And so by definition, if it's adaptive, it's going to be part of your B and your T cells. Okay. And you also need to know that it's going to work with the B and T cells. It's random, does not require antigens, and it uses RAG. And so there's an interesting version of SCID, which is severe combined immunodeficiency. And SCID can actually be caused by an autosomal recessive loss of function of the RAG genes. And so usually SCID is from ADA deficiency, which is adenosine deaminase deficiency. And it can also be from a couple other variations, but this is one that is occasionally tested that the RAG genes, if you lose them, you can get SCID. And so remember with SCID, these are the patients that are super prone to infections. They're the bubble boy patients. And if you imagine that if you lost the RAG genes, which help with VDJ recombination, you're going to be very, very high at risk for infections because you can't help that adaptive immunity to be able to adapt and fight off infections. So here's a little picture. So again, this occurs in the bone marrow. And so you have the heavy chains and you have the light chains. The heavy chain side will occur first. And so what happens is first you're going to delete the DNA that is between the D and the J segments. So you delete that DNA out. Now the D and J are squished together. After the D and J combine, V will then come over. So first D and J combine, and then V comes over and recombines with them after that. And then you go through transcription, alternative splicing, where your introns are spliced out, and then translation into protein. So after this process occurs, now the light chain will occur. And so this will occur later in the process. So I remember later, and then L for later, L for light. And you'll notice here that in this picture, there's no D segment. There's just the V and then the J, and of course the constant region. And so the V will combine with the J segment, and then you'll undergo again transcription, the splicing out of the introns. So now you have your mRNA, which gets translated into a protein. The heavy chain and the light chain, these will combine with disulfide bonds to form immunoglobulins. And so the immunoglobulin that you have is this B cell receptor, the BCR. And so this will be expressed on the B cell surface, as you can see in this picture. So all of this occurs to just create a randomized B cell receptor. So that's the process of VDJ recombination in a nutshell. So a couple other mechanisms to increase the diversity of your adaptive immune system. I'm going to start with the ones that are antigen-independent. These do not require an antigen. You must know that fact. And so there's really 3 subtypes here, and then 2 of them are very similar, so about 4. So we already talked about VDJ recombination. The next one is TDT. So TDT is terminal deoxynucleotide transferase. And what it does is it adds random nucleotides to your DNA strand. And if you know the name, you know exactly how it works. Terminal, so it adds it to the terminal end, deoxynucleotide transferase. All right, so that's the first 2 ways for antigen-independent diversity improvement. Then these 2 kind of go hand in hand. They're the exact same thing, but you just have to know whether it's a B cell or a T cell we're talking about. So heavy chain and light chain recombination, this occurs only in B cells. And then alpha chain and beta chain combination, this is going to be the analogous version, but in T cells. So these two are basically the same process, but it just depends in which cells that they occur in, B or T. So for the antigen independent, we have VDJ recombination. Remember, it's totally random, occurs in the bone marrow. TDT addition of random nucleotides. Again, it's random, meaning it's not reliant upon any antigen. And then the chains combining. So whether it's a B cell with heavy and light chain combination or alpha chain and beta chain combination in the T cells. And then lastly here, we're going to finish talking about the ways to improve your diversity with antigens. So you have somatic hypermutation and isotype switching. Somatic hypermutation will occur in the B cell variable region, whereas isotype switching, this occurs at the constant region. And so I drew out the variable regions for somatic hypermutation, and then I drew out the constant region for isotype switching. So isotype switching, all that is switching from IgG, IgA, IgM, IgE, or IgD, which spell out the mnemonic gamed, to one of the other isotypes. And so these antigen-specific processes, somatic hypermutation and isotype switching, these will occur oftentimes at the germinal center of lymph nodes. So again, you use the germinal center of lymph nodes because you're interacting with antigens, which is, you can have that process occurring in your lymph nodes. You guys have probably seen somebody that's sick, they have the flu, and their lymph nodes swell up. Maybe they're undergoing somatic hypermutation or isotype switching to better combat the infection. So that's what I would want you to know for VDJ recombination. We talked about adaptive immunity, occurs in the bone marrow, it's random, it's antigen independent. It's going to work with B and T cell receptors. We talked about RAG. If you have an autosomal recessive loss, you can have a version of SCID. We talked about the RAG genes together form VDJ recombinase. And then we talked about the process. So remember, VDJ is B cell maturation in the bone marrow to create this BCR. The heavy chain occurs first. You're going to delete between the D and the J, and then the V will join after that. Then you get transcription, splicing out of the introns, and then translation into a protein. And then after that all occurs, you have the light chain that undergoes the VJ recombination. And so there's no D in the light chain. And so the V and the J, they combine. Now you have transcription of the DNA into the pre-mRNA. With the pre-mRNA, you then get mRNA by splicing out the introns. The mRNA is translated into the light chain protein. These are combined by disulfide bonds. You form the BCR, which is on the surface of the B cell. All right, I hope that helps. If you have any questions, let me know. That was kind of a super hardcore crash course into increasing diversity with your adaptive immune system.